36. Any audience? 7 of us plus 2 attorneys.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd be kind enough to silence your phones and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Quick question.
No questions from the floor. Sir, if you are disorderly, the door is that way. I explained that last month. Okay, there is a time for public comments, and that will be when it will be available for folks to speak. Okay? All right. Roll call, please.
Dale Jernstedt.
Here.
Jim Peak.
Here.
Janet Clark. Here. Jim Chapman.
Here.
Denise McFarland. Here. Gary Todd.
Here.
Roger Carroll.
Here. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have the agenda in front of you. Okay. First order of business, I believe, Jim, you have the motion.
Yes. I move that the Board of Trustees convene in closed session.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm not going to talk if you're going to talk.
I'm not kidding you. I have done it for 37 years, and I will be happy to escort anyone to the door that chooses to be disorderly. We have a meeting to run. You will have opportunity to speak, and I will not tolerate any interruptions. Jim, if you'd like to proceed.
I'll start over. Move that the Board of Trustees convene in closed session under the section 8(1), small letter h of the Open Meetings Act to consider material exempt from disclosure by the state statute section 13(1), small g of the Freedom of Information Act, being a letter from its attorney dated April 7th, 2023, for the reason that the letter is exempt from disclosure under the state law due to the attorney-client privilege. And that's all.
Is there a second?
I'll support.
Motion support, discussion on the motion. Okay. Roll call.
Jernstedt.
Yes.
Peak.
Yes.
Clark. Yes. Chapman.
Yes.
McFarland. Yes. Todd.
Yeah.
Carroll.
Yes. Then at this point, we will be going into executive session. You folks are more than welcome to sit here in a public building.
Sounds like
This wasn't an edit.
So where do you live at, Hastily? That was my question. What time is it?
She called me crying because they went to the we're going to give you
I was sitting up with my feet on the recliner and turned on my phone and stuff. I texted him, you going? Like Jason.
So they have to go there and wait for that.
He didn't want to see the rest. I don't know. I don't understand. Well, when they say 90%, they don't matter.
Yeah.
bond together and let's figure out a strategy. Right now, we need to get as many people involved in the community. We need to get this message out. Everyone here should know that we have a rally on the 22nd at my farm. We're going to have a lot of information to show the truth of what's happening in this community.
Can you back all the way up so you can live what you're saying?
Okay. Is this public safety on my thing? Okay.
You're doing fantastic.
Okay. Once again, since they locked us out of the meeting, we should have a meeting here, and we should discuss what's going on amongst the people that are upset with this project going in. On the 22nd of April, we're having a rally at the farm. Everybody come, bring people. Let's get together. Let's fight this. We have on my website, if you guys look at the Lori Kalkabrock website and on the Majestic Frisians website, we are posting things. I have listed all the senators and representatives' numbers, Whitmer's number, email addresses. You guys make a voice, call them, email them. Do everything that you can to let people know what's going on. I literally have done 10 interviews with national companies. We've got people from Nation Talk coming in next week that are flying from Washington. I did an interview with the Wall Street Journal. So don't think that we're not being heard. The more people that come, the more people that are interviewing us, the more podcasts we're doing. Literally, I've never ever been in front of anybody ever like this. And I have to take a stand. This is going to hurt our community. It's going to help hurt our environment. It's toxic. They have downplayed the fact that there's no toxicity, no contamination, and that's an absolute lie. We all know that that's a lie. Chapman just attacked me the other day on their virtual meeting and said that I was a dumb realtor and that I should have known not to build my farm on an industrial zone. I am telling you, there's nothing industrial near me. And I put it on Facebook. I showed everybody that's near me, across from me, behind me. We're agricultural. We are residential, agriculture, and multifamily. There's a piece of commercial, but I own it, and so it's not going to go commercial. It's on the edge of my farm. So he lies. He absolutely lies. We have to stand together and we have to hold him accountable. I am totally pushing for a recall. Dale Jernstad taking money and still voting, not appropriate, not at all. We deserve better, you guys. All of us deserve better, and the way to do that is to bond together. You know, they can kick us out of the meeting. That doesn't mean we can't get together and get together and have meetings. We can get together. We have a telegraph. It's called Trojan Horse, which a lot of the people that we're concerned with can get on that and hear the message that we're bringing, information that we bring. We bring it up as soon as we get it. We just had messages from John Molinar saying they're not backing it anymore. We have messages from Senator Danielle Spice did a message at Congress stating how corrupt Goshen is. If you look on my website, I have posted all this. I am trying to keep people informed as much as possible, but look on the website, share the information, tell your neighbors. That's how we're going to stop this.
What's your website again?
My website is Lori Kalkabrock, and the other one is Majestic Frisians. And I put all of them on. I post everything that I know on those websites.
May I say a few words?
Oh, you please come up and say something.
Good job, Lori.
So I'm Joseph Fox, and I'm the state representative from the 101st District. I live over by Fremont. And in case you don't know, the Muskegon River that's flowing right here flows all the way through Newaygo County, and that's where my concern and my constituents' concerns lie. I have been in contact with your state representative, Tom Coons, who represents this area, already this morning, and he wishes he could be here, but he's with his family down in Indianapolis, so I wanted you to know that. I visited the other day with Mr. Chapman and two other state representatives. We had a conversation, and during public comment today, I have a few things to say that grew out of that conversation that really never got finished. So I encourage you in doing what you're doing, because I believe that in the end, it's we the people that are going to be able to stand up for this, and that if we can get to the point where we can get we the people's voice in front of everyone, it will not happen. And finally, I most of all encourage you in prayer, because that's the way we fight our battles, is on our knees. And it's evil we're fighting against, not simply people, okay? It's evil. So,
Tom? Joe Bayshaw. Can I, for our community, I will apologize for some of the comments, the personal attacks, and the mocking of you guys meeting with Mr. Chapman. I don't know if you read the paper this morning, but
I've read it.
we apologize. That isn't
I've
us.
read it, and I'm not going to attack anyone. I just want to share the
Correct.
facts. Facts are ugly things that can't be denied.
Yeah, that would be my next, and I'll shut up, but don't let us start the personal attacks.
Right.
She got, not by name, but mocking. by her.
Personal attacks are not going to win it. It's her that's going to win it.
I heard, I was talking to Lori, I heard a couple of remarks the other day at the rally, that somebody asked Chapman what kind of chemicals are coming out, and he says it's none of our business. And so he said he's got 95% approval. Well, let's look at his email. Can we get a hold of his email? I mean, he said everybody, he said, I got a lot of text people for this. Well, let's look at his email.
You talked about Representative Coons. There was a point in time that he was listed as being on the panel, that he was going to be on the panel, and then he wasn't on the panel, and I heard that he was, after they asked him to be on the panel, he agreed to be on the panel, and then I heard that then they said he wasn't needed.
My opinion is, and this is only an opinion, and I just want to say this about opinions very quickly. You know, opinions are like armpits. We all have two of them, and they usually both stink. Okay, so remember that. But my opinion is that Mr. Coons is in the midst of some figuring out things. That's my opinion. And I know that John Molinar went through that process. I've been on the phone with him twice. And I think that he has figured out things based upon his Detroit News article. Yeah. And I think that, again, we got to keep on praying.
Can I pray?
Yes, please.
Father God, you are above all.
Amen.
You're the creator God. You made everyone. You made everyone for a purpose, Lord, and these are the times of our purpose. And I pray against any principality or power or spiritual wickedness in the heavenly realms. According to Psalm 91, that you'll hide us underneath the shelter of your wings, Lord. That 1,000 may fall on our left and 10,000 on our right, but it will not come near our dwelling. Because you give your angels charge over us to guard us in all of our ways. You will lift us up in your hands, lest we dash our foot on a stone. We will tread upon the lion and the cobra. We will trample the great lion and the serpent, because you love us and we love you. Your word says that no weapon forged against us will prosper. In fact, it will backfire, according to Isaiah 54. In Jesus, you make the path of the righteous level and smooth. In the name of Jesus, amen. Amen. Amen.
If I can ask a little bit of question here, I'll start with my introduction. I'm Larry Finkbein. My family's been around here forever and a day. All right, we've been farming in this area for generations. Can I ask a show of hands, who's in Green Township? The majority of us. That's awesome. My farm is right up here on 22 Mile Road. My endeavor is to try and grow organic vegetables. That's what I do. I figured out here just about a month ago that there was a project coming. And I tried looking for a little bit of information, given I'm not the most technologically savvy gentleman, and I ended up calling Chapman. Initially, right off the bat, Mr. Chapman was not impressed with the number of people that had negative things to say. Nevertheless, I tried to get some information. I was able to get enough information that I was able to look at other sites. And it wasn't until about 5-6 days ago that I was able to run across Miss Brock's site here on Facebook. The more I've been able to look at this, the least impressed I am. Okay? There is a need for jobs here. 100%. There is a need for jobs here. There's a need for jobs in most of the communities around here. It's our responsibility to make sure those jobs meet our needs. I would love to enter a butcher shop in Green Township. Mr. Chapman even gave me some suggestions as to some properties. and expressed that they would love to have my type of business involved here. I would love to go further with my greenhouses. I would love to put in a food hub so that we can have some more jobs and some fresh food right here in our community. All right? I am very aware that if I stand up here and open my mouth, I'm not getting a butcher shop in this township. I am no idiot as to small town politics. Okay?
Not unless there's a recall.
Possible. But there are a few things that we're going to have to do if this is going to stay a united front. One thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to plan on being here today until this meeting concludes. At some point, somebody's going to have to go grab some water. Somebody might have to grab some sandwiches. And we're going to have to figure out how we can go ahead and stay here because we all have lives outside of this building.
Right, yeah.
Now, I got woke up right out of bed 10 minutes to 9 this morning and informed of this meeting and made it here by 6 afternoon. Okay? I've got a crap ton of things to do. I've got a tractor I got to finish fixing. Or I'm not going to get the tilling done.
That's the trick.
That's it.
They know. It's
Okay.
Good Friday. Yeah.
The cows are just going to have to wait until this evening to get fed. Normally they'd be fed by now. All right? That's just a fact. But if it's our intention to remain a united front, we're going to have to figure out what needs to be so that we can have our butts in these seats when they come back out of this closed session. When they do come out of this closed session, we're going to have to go ahead and be prepared to express ourselves in a calm, concise manner. Because the last thing we want is to give them any target that they can use against us. They've already given us plenty of targets to use. We don't need to give them any ammunition. So, calm and concise is what I'm going to ask.
Please add something to that.
Please do.
If you, because I know some of you have come in after I tried to announce this, if you want to speak, please ask that your comments be recorded in the minutes because they do not have to record your comments. I've looked back at past meetings and there will be like one comment here, one comment there, and I've been at those meetings and I know a lot of people were speaking.
Okay,
please
so they
make
can cherry
sure
pick.
before
Good
you
to
say
know.
anything that you ask that your comment be recorded in the minutes.
Even if you're requested, do they have to though?
I'm not sure, but then
Because Green Township has a history of not recording public comments.
Is
They'll
there-
ask for your name and where you're from, but they won't even put that in the minutes.
Are there 2 or 3 people here that have the ability of recording?
there's several people recording it.
Okay. Then we will ask of people of our own to go ahead and record the comments. So that if it ever comes up, we have copies. And best if we've got 2 or 3.
I think we should, like Lori was talking, I think next Wednesday there's a meeting.
Yeah.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay, we, like last time, we had just a tremendous turnout, we should get double that, even if those overflows in the parking.
Yeah.
They just put a sign out there, capacity 111.
Then we could go outside.
And Chapman was counting people
Yeah,
right
he
before
was
the meeting to
definitely
make sure
counting.
that he didn't want more than 111 people here.
But you know what, it'll show numbers and support if we're all in the parking lot or
Even if we're all here,
whatever.
and the parking all day.
And we'll make sure the news is here.
Right,
We'll
and
make
they
sure.
can't shut that down, it's
No.
a lot of shut.
They shut the parking lot down the other day and I know, but they're breaking the
Well,
law.
then we'll still do it.
Can I ask one thing? Kathy Fleming, where are you?
He's over there.
Hey Kathy.
Kathy?
Can you get out and tell everybody about your survey that you know the results you're getting?
I'm just my partner, so I do everything around
I think people should know about what's happening.
All right. Well, first of all, I mean, we do claim no weapon formed against us will prosper, right? Right. We're going to do everything we can, and I'm really proud, and so I can't say enough for how the people have come together. We are the people, and we have a web of world government, Michigan, it's all this apparatus, and they are coming against us. And that's big. But we're here, and I'm thankful. So, we're hearing, all of us, it's the same story for all of us. We've heard a little here, and we watched Big Rapids, and we're curious, and we're kind of, those of us who pay attention, I guess. And there's people out there who don't have any clue, because, you know, news is too depressing. I've checked out 5 years ago. But anyway, so we're paying attention, and then all of a sudden we're like, bam, here it is. And, you know, things weren't making sense. Well, for us, one of the things, we came to the March 14th, and we actually thought we'd make sense, right? We all came, we thought, well, if they just see us, if they just hear us, and they'll stop for a minute, because we're the people, and they're supposed to be listening to us, right? We thought that was powerful, right? Well, then what was shocking was not so powerful. He just went right down to Lansing and said, you know, just ignored us, and the stiff-neckedness, the crassness, I was shocked by it. I'm sure we were all shocked by that. We didn't expect that kind of reaction from our guys who live near us, like forever. I mean, we've all lived here. I've lived here my whole life. So Ron and I, we're sitting there at the meeting, and we're hearing 95% of Green Township is for this. We've heard this a million times on our interviews, right? That's what really got us. We're thinking 95%, really? Okay, this is we the people.
You forgot the word board.
Yeah.
It wasn't people, the board.
Yeah, well, so and we're just hearing, I'm just telling you what, right, we're hearing 95% of Green Townships for this, and the board was 100% for it. Right. And we're thinking, what? Is this real? Okay, you know, that's we the people, right? Well, we want to know the truth. We couldn't believe it. So we set up a canvassing crew, and we had a meeting, and they said, we're people who said, I'm willing. So we sat down there with the grid of Green Township. And we're not done. We're not done, but we gave people roads, and thank God they stepped up. And I'll tell you, half of the people who stepped up live right here. You know, these guys, Matt, I mean, they live right here. So we gave them a road. Go do 220th. Go do, okay. So we got that. We created the survey. We did a flyer for Goshen. We gave them the map of Green. And we just, within a couple days, and we just kind of threw this thing together, emailed it, and they started going out. All right. Instantly, within the first 2 people who went out, we were hearing, man, my whole road is unanimously against it, or 90%, or, I mean, and then Ron and I had our turn, and we went out, and we didn't make it very far. I mean, we went down the road, but we stopped at a good amount of houses.
3 hours for 1 mile.
Well, because we talked, we were informing people. We were talking, and we had people inviting us into their living rooms. I was sitting on couches of people, and they were like, thank you for doing this. Nobody asked us. We're not for it. Thank you for doing what you're doing. And I would say in our jaunt, we had what?
We had one lady, or pardon me, one gentleman that did not want to give his opinion. He's like, I have an opinion, but I don't want to give it, which is fine. And we thanked him for his time. We had one lady that was for it. However, by the time we were done, I think she was second thinking it.
I had some good facts and figures, and she was like, wow, I didn't know that, and I didn't know that. Yeah.
So we're finding for every occasional yes, there's probably 20 to 30 no's. So don't let them fool you and say that your community is all gung-ho about this, because statistically what we found already is 95% is against.
Right, in our canvassing from our people going to the living rooms, to the doors, and we thought they would just shut us down or think we were weirdos. No, they were like, people were awesome. I really got a lot of hope doing this canvassing. I'm glad we did it, didn't you?
Yeah. And Mr. Chapman talks about the silent majority. I saw his interview about, there were hundreds that logged into his online thing, and that's the silent majority and this and that. I think the real silent majority are the citizens that don't want this but are scared to speak out because of big government and big corporations.
That's absolutely true.
We're pretty much all against this. So, and they decided that this is good for our community. How come, or why wasn't it a vote from our community?
Because they know that we're not.
I think that, so from what we've learned, and I mean, I can have some backing from smarter people than me, but from what we've read, so we've been just consuming information. And when you see the whole thing, you see how they're demonizing their own citizens. Okay, I'm simple Kathy, right? I'm thinking,
How are they demonizing their own people? This is odd. A guy who knows something, they're known people. Like I worked with so-and-so for 20 years. This is out of character. What, Barton Township Supervisor? I worked with him for 25 years. I talked to the mayor of Reed City. I've known him for 25 years. He's a nice guy, patriotic. I'm thinking, this is out of character then, is it not? Something is weird going on here.
Money.
And it's money, it's blindedness. I think some could be money, right? Some of it is, I really think I'm doing the right thing. The kids of the future, 10 years from now, whatever. I mean, they're blinded. I don't know if the powers that be are talking them and convincing them. But I'll tell you what's not happening is this blindedness that's happening, this money, the money that's been paid is going to be paid, the promises to be made, but we can't figure that part out. That part is hard. It's like, how are these people that we know okay with this?
But we were put to a vote when all these marijuana plants or facilities wanted to come into our community. And we were able to vote on that. And as our community in Green Township, they said, we're gonna put it to a vote and we'll see if they want it. Well, we didn't want it.
Why aren't they doing it
So
the same
how
way?
come they're,
Good question.
It's just pushed through.
This is a world, but you guys, when we watched what we watched the other day even, there was a great interview with Jody Carlson and all that. This is America. This isn't just Mecosta. These tactics
everywhere.
are world government type tactics that are using our system. Like, okay, 18 hours. If I give a notice at 3 o'clock, we have the 9 o'clock meeting, and then it's on Good Friday, and then, we gotta bust everybody out of bed drinking their coffee. Was that your story this morning? It was mine. Look at me. I mean, my hair was half dry. I mean, come on. I'm busting out the door. I had to go to the bank. I had to get gas at the car, and I'm here late, but they do it, they know what they're doing. They know how to beat the American citizen by their own system, and they're doing it on purpose. When you got 2 years, what was it on the Rumble? They said in Marshall, they were buying a plan in 2019. Did I hear that right? Yes. This has been cooking. They've been cooking this thing for 2 years, whatever, and then they dumped it on us, and then they dump all this on us like this. And it's just coming at us so fast, and we're just people who get up and go to work, play with our grandchildren, make phone calls to our kids on a Friday, Good Friday, go to church later on.
their taxes, and one thing that's quiet community. That's all.
They know we don't have time, and look, there should be 1,000 people here. But they don't know, and that's on purpose. It's orchestrated. It's orchestrated.
Jim Chapman wrote in one of the meetings that he knew about this for 6 months and never told the community. That is absolutely deception. He's our township official. How can he know about something, be a part of it, and not let the people in the community know?
He did send on the text thing, he did send a text that her bridge was open at 8 o'clock this morning, and he put one out yesterday that was tentatively going to be open, but he didn't send any message about this.
No, he doesn't want the public to know. It's a big secret to keep it under wraps.
I just want to say, I was at the annual meeting in October, and someone asked him why we were just hearing about this, and he said he signed something.
It's a non-disclosure.
I said at his meeting, he never signed anything.
I don't know if those are the words that came out of his mouth, but I remember saying, my neighbor was with me, and I said, am I crazy? Because I remember he said that, no, I said he signed the he said, he has to keep it.
So they took him at his personal word.
Hey guys, gotta let one people talk at a time so you can hear what everything's going on.
Yeah, so what we have to realize, and maybe, where's Orman? What we have to realize is this is not Mecosta County only. This is happening in Marshall, it happened out in North Dakota, it's happened, Oklahoma, Georgia.
We honestly
This is premeditated against us, and it's been in many areas, and they know what they're doing.
And we want you to know we have people helping us. The South Dakota lady, or North Dakota lady, her name's Jody Carlson. She called me and they got Goshen out of their community. And she has given us pages and pages and pages of things to do to turn them into the feds, and we are doing that. We're following their footsteps, hoping to get them out. So you have to realize we are trying to go and need community support.
Armin, Because Orman knows a lot.
Orman Hook knows way more than any of us, so.
What's the question where I was
Well,
outside?
Okay, well, you know, they keep us out of the meeting, so we
The
want.
apparatus that's against us is big. So, you know, how the apparatus of the world government, China, this government against the citizen.
Tell them what's going on, Orman.
The
You
big
got
picture,
this.
it's not just us.
They probably know more than I do. My mouth is just putting on, make it bigger. This is huge. The news of this is spreading. One news person told me Wednesday night, Goshen is the hottest topic in news. It's bigger than the school shootings. So this is getting covered. Every day there's a request for an interview. Yesterday it came from Indonesia. Okay? And I'm calling somebody in San Francisco. Chinese folks here who were fortunate enough to escape had their news organization, and I'm sure they would love some insight. Two things. Yes, Satan is against us. Communism is against us. The World Economic Forum is against us. Fortunately, because of all the mistakes that our opponents are making and the people that they have chosen to lead the charge on their side, we're like geniuses compared to them. They're in there with a lawyer because there's probably 10 laws and regulations that they will be spending time with Hunter Biden in the future, okay? That's how big it is. I even doubt if their lawyer even understands the magnitude of this. Everyone they choose to try to be on their side has no idea what they are in for. 3 days ago, my wife and Jen Theodore spent the whole morning, and I sort of brought them coffee or whatever, developing media kits that goes out to any media organization around the state. We send them to, a senator asked for them, other people are asking for them, so that we know the Articles of Association set up by Goshen. We know the Articles of Incorporation set up by Goshen Inc., which is the American company. And along the way, they changed their name to sound more Americanized. We have the emails of information are so large, we have to send them out in 3 bundles because the files can't transfer. So any media person, if Joe doesn't have it already, we can get it to him. Our apparatus of just, I was born on a mountain, my dad was a sheriff, okay? But the things that we know and the experts that step up and lawyer contacts and national radio, national TV, I'm waiting for a final confirmation to go speak to testify before the House Ways and Means Committee, okay? Most of us have never even heard of that. And I'll be on a panel with 4 if I pass vetting. This is spread like wildfire. So please feel confident. I know you're scared, and especially if you live right here. Yes, I totally understand. But in the last maybe 2 or 3 days, I've started feeling a lot better about the massive army that's around us. Let me give you, I graduated from seminary, so let me give you a piece of history from ancient Israel. The city of, I believe, Jerusalem was surrounded by a king that came down from the north, and the king that came down from the north was named Sennacherib. And somehow the prophet, I believe, spoke to their general somehow and opened their general's eyes, Sennacherib's eyes, so he could see the angels surrounding the enemy army, and they were so great that Sennacherib just took off. Okay? There is a an army of angels that you can't see.
Amen.
They
That's
are around us. We will have on April 22nd a rally at Lori's. If there aren't more than 15 media outlets there, I will be shocked. Every day our cause almost like doubles. We have speakers that will be coming, and as soon as they all are confirmed, they will be here or they will be on video. That's massive. Lori and I were on a podcast yesterday, a national podcast, and we can get the links out to that today or Monday as soon as that's available. Somebody heard that podcast and already sent in $500. So there is an army around us, and at least for a few hours, just...
On behalf of all of Green Township, I don't have that right, but on behalf of one citizen of Green Township, I'd just like to thank you for the outside support that Green Township has gotten. So thank you for that. If you're from Green Township, you may recognize the name. 2 elections ago, I ran against Jim because 6 years ago, when I got involved in township politics, I had some serious questions about what was going on in Green Township. And what I found out was the 3 paid positions, well, they're all paid, but the 3 main paid positions don't answer to anybody other than the voters. So what I'm going to tell you, if you're from Green Township, you need to remember at the next election that those 7 people have voted unanimously, always positive, for Goshen. The only 2 people, the 6 years I've been really involved in township politics, there are only 2 people in those 6 years that have spoken up against Jim. That was Kelly and Linda, and both of them got voted off in the last election, to my shame and embarrassment, by Green Township voters. Right now, there are 7 yes votes up there. And the only power we have to change things is at the election box, because they don't answer to anybody. And so, I guess first of all, like I say, thank you to those who have supported Green Township and our fight against what our elected officials are trying to do to us.
Is recalling possible?
I want to say thank you, and you folks need to be following and know the Midwesterner News. It's on Facebook, it's on, they have a web address. We have friends there, they are our friends. That's part of Tudor Dixon. Little media, she's involved with the Midwesterner News. It's because of their coverage, all the other news jumped aboard.
That's right.
So, it's the Midwesterner at the end news. So on Facebook, please give them some hype, and our own Corey, okay? We have a Facebook page which is Keep Michigan Pure. Please like it. Make a simple comment in there. And mostly we send, and she gathers news stories from around the country. Tap like it, make a simple comment, and share it. Right now she has 50 great stories on there, but it's not getting covered. And we haven't been able to promote it. So
Can you say that again?
You need to do that. Keep Michigan Pure. Keep Michigan Pure. Questions?
No, comments? Okay, mine? Okay, there's a couple of things that we're
Would you
going to...
introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, I'm Larry Finkbeiner.
Oh, okay, I'm Norman. Hey, okay. His uncle used to snowplow me many years ago.
Okay, representative democracy, that means we elect the people to make decisions for us because we all have lives. That's how we ended up in this scenario. The township has voted for this. The governor's voted for this. Last House and Senate session went ahead and voted for this. At this point in time, there's essentially one major step that they need. And I noticed that when Lori handed out the information for her meeting on the 22nd, that's too late. There is a vote going through the Senate right now that is expected to be in the middle of April, which means we've got 5-6 days. All right? If the vote on the SOAR committee goes ahead and passes, they have every green light to go through and put this in. We need to go ahead and contact our senators and irritate the crap out of them every day until they realize that there is a voice that is local that does not want this. Because that is the last, in the democratic system, in the representative democracy, that is the last step that they have. And is expected to pass at this point no later than April 15th.
Now, those numbers are on my website, all of them. Phone numbers, email addresses, all you have to do is click on Lori Talker-Brock. I have it all posted. Those are the numbers you need to contact to make a voice. All right.
No, great. There's a paper going around right now for information so you can be kept up to date. I would ask that you go ahead and get on that paper and let it be known if you're willing to go ahead and canvass with Kathy. I would say that anybody that's willing to go ahead and be on a group to go ahead and get out there and do a recall, to get signatures for the recall, please make it be known on that paper so that we know who to contact, who's available, who can get out there.
And Larry, on that note, I think you should jump in right now.
I just want to know if anybody is in favor of a whole board
Green
recall.
Township people. Only.
Green Township, because I know I am, and I just want to know we have enough people to start the full board recall. I think we got, yeah, let's do it, you guys. Okay.
Now, the thing is, Lori, I got to look into exactly what happens if only one or two are recalled. My worry, if we don't recall the entire board, is that then the board will vote for the replacements until the next election.
No, I say the whole board recall.
So,
the other side to that is somebody brought up a petition to go ahead and have this Goshen incident put up to a public vote. We're going to need individuals willing to go out and canvass and get those signatures as well.
No, it's separate applications.
You know something I don't? I surely don't.
I just don't, I mean, do they have to give us a public vote?
We're going to try to put a...
They said they don't have to, there's no legal reason
for them to have to, but would
But
it make
we
it a
can-
legal
we can-
reason if we had enough petitions signed?
I don't have the answers to that, but I would think that if we could get a vast majority of the citizens of Green Township, that we could probably push for it.
We have attorneys working on this, honestly, and we're trying to figure out the best and fastest way to take them down. There's paperwork that we have to fill out with Marcy at Purcell to get this onto a vote for not only the recall, but also to, but I didn't want to start that if I didn't know we had support. So that was one of the things that we wanted to make sure.
Marcy Purcell and I were talking yesterday. We needed 415 at the minimum signatures. We get to that point, but there is a process that needs to be done. And so the process, first of all, is to establish our reasons for a recall. It seems like the best plan of attack is one person at a time on each recall. And there's a certain timeline to follow. At this point in time, and this is the Reader's Digest of the whole thing, at this point in time, we won't be able to get a recall or another vote until November. All right, there's a vote, we can recall them and vote on them in May, but there's no way in the time frame that we have to make that happen in May. So now we have to go out to November. And there's a lot more to it as far as we have to, first of all, submit our reasons. Then that verbiage has to be vetted. Then let's say one of the board members, whoever we're trying to recall, they have a timeline that they can protest those reasons. And then after that, if everything's set and everything's good with that process at that point in time, we can go out and collect our signatures. Each signature is only good for 60 days. After that, it has to be re-signed. And then the process is good for 180 days at this point. That's just a couple different points on that paper, but I do have all the paperwork
Thank you for
already,
looking.
and we're all set to do
Thank
that.
you for looking into that, because we honestly are gonna follow probably that path. But the quicker thing that we need to do is worry about getting the numbers to these meetings, like next week, getting numbers to that, getting numbers to the April 22nd. I'm passing that around, just a piece of paper. What that is saying is, do you want information? Give us your email. We will gladly keep you in the loop with our email because we know people want information. So we want to keep everybody in the loop. And the more that you tell people, the more it gets out. If you tell your neighbors, if you tell your friends, and it's hard because you become personally attacked. They are attacking me every day, and I don't care. I don't care anymore. But what you have to do is stand tough, and you have to realize when they're talking money, because this is what this is all about, is money. Chapman said it was 50 grand a year. Oh, we're going to have these wonderful jobs, huge jobs coming in, 50 grand a year. Well, then it went to 40 grand a year. Well, then when our radio interview, it was 30 something a year. And then when we pushed them even further, it was $24 an hour, the average. And I said repeatedly in this radio interview, you said $24 average. I want to know if our community members are going to be, when they just walk in the door for Goshen, what are they going to be paid? I don't care about your Chinese national people that you're bringing into work. I care about our people that work in this community. And they kept saying average 24. So their Chinese people are going to be making the big money, and our guys are probably going to, I never got a straight answer, but when you average it out, it's going to be $16, $18 an hour to work in a lithium factory, which is dangerous. That's shit paid. You know, I'm sorry. Taco Bell pays $17 an hour. We don't need that kind of a company here.
Maybe totally unrelated, but is anybody, and I don't even know if it's possible, but has anybody investigated stock holdings of Goshen?
We did, absolutely did.
Federal, state.
Yes.
I'm not doing local, but I'm sure there's ways to hide it, and I don't even know if you can.
This is absolutely correct, but I have copies of all this as well. We wondered about that because Jim Chapman told me that it was not a Chinese-owned company. Absolutely not. So he said, look, VW owns it, they're a German company. So-and-so owns it, they're Japanese, so-and-so owns it. And he showed numbers. Well, we started researching that. It's VW China that owns the 25%. VW China, we looked at their minutes of their meetings, and VW China has to give all of Goshen their voting rights as of May of 2023. So it's not anybody else, it's just Goshen, but they hid it. They hide all the facts, and we have all this information, so it's really not a bipartisan group of people that own this. It is Chinese-based. Chinese VW is a communist company as well. Just because they say VW doesn't mean that's a German or whatever, wherever VW is from. It is China-based. It's
Well, I'm
VW
just wondering
China.
why this is so streamlined when the other projects take
I
years
know.
and years.
They're going right over they're totally just bulldozing past. They repeatedly said they will be breaking ground in June. I asked if they had building permits, if they talked to the drain commissioner. I had a long talk with our drain commissioner. She has never spoke to them, not once. She's reached out to them 6 times, never reached out. I talked to the Muskegon River watershed. They've never talked to them. They're trying to build this on our Muskegon River watershed, which there's no way they should be allowed to do that. That water goes directly into the Muskegon River. There are springs. There is a trout stream. All of that's right there, and yet they're bulldozing it over. And they don't
follow
care.
the money,
Somebody's getting paid.
federally, statewide, and I'm not saying local,
Yeah.
but some people, the money's going somewhere that doesn't make sense.
Absolutely. So, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Jim Kelly, and I'm from Nuevo County. And like the sign says, we support Green Township being against this project. And part of Jim Chapman's lies is that professional protesters from outside the area are coming in here and just a bunch of rabble-rousers. But one point that I want to make to you guys is over in Oceana County, I own some property over there, and there's a big conflict over there right now with the marijuana growers. And there was meetings, and they were allowed to come in, and now people who live there are against it. And one thing they've said is now they can't just, even if the people want, get rid of the marijuana farms there, because
these farmers have investments. And they can now sue the board over there and the residents over there. They can completely bankrupt the whole area if they try to get rid of them now because of the investments that these companies have made. So it's very important, and I know you guys all know this, the sense of urgency, but we got to do everything we can to stop this before it ever gets started, because there's no going back if they break ground.
Right. And the other thing that Phelan said, Vice President Tagosian, he said in a radio interview and on the TV that if the community doesn't want him, then he will leave. Well, I say, go away,
It's going to be the responsibility of each one of us in Green Township to reach out to at least 5 households. If we want to build the numbers to back what we're saying, if we want to be able to stop this, it's going to be the responsibility of each one of us to reach out to at least 5 different households and give them the information that we can give them. Let them look at it and see if we can get them to our side. Not everybody's going to be for it. Some people aren't going to want to give an opinion. Some people are contrary. That doesn't mean treat them bad. That doesn't mean, but we're going to have to reach out. Each one of us in Green Township is going to have to reach out to at least 5 households to get the numbers that's going to be needed.
Just a little infomercial for some big uplift. Goshen Company was started in China. They had a different name and they anglicized it more. They receive subsidies for their work. We are giving subsidies, our tax money, to subsidize them. They got themselves in trouble last summer financially. The equivalent of our Securities and Exchange Commission in China hauled them in on the carpet. They were under investigation. They had bad debt. So last summer, the stocks that were trading on the Swiss stock exchange got halted. Okay, this is not a great and glorious enemy. This is a flawed opponent that we are dealing with. A couple of reviews that have to go into the federal government to see if they're even allowed to be here was thankfully developed and presented by people in the Big Rapids Charter Township Board. They stepped up, spent 5 days on a computer trying to fill out all the crazy paperwork. It hasn't happened here, which by law it should. It hasn't happened by law with Goshen itself. So if we can get the Fed's attention, some brakes are going to be put on here that they may or may not even know yet. So that's just my little infomercial.
We would like to just stop for a minute and just do, you want to read that verse first?
It occurred to me that, there's some things that are tangible, physical, and there's stuff that's way above that.
It's more than political. It's more than us.
To defeat a spiritual enemy, you have to fight in that realm. So
from the Christian enemy. So there's a song we all know. It's a doxology, like a lot of us know, and we can say, praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above thy heavenly host. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen.
And the word on that is 2 Chronicles 20, verse 22. It says, and they began to sing praise, and the Lord set ambushes against the enemy.
This is Good Friday. That's very appropriate. It makes me want. Thanks. I appreciate you so much.
You guys, we appreciate everybody that comes. Honestly, just spread the word. This is our taxpayer dollars coming to give them money to pay 4 times the amount of property values. There are these people around. This is our tax dollar money. It should be going that way. We have to spread the truth. We have to let people know what's going on. And like I said, the more people that come to this April 22nd meeting, we have all the packets. And we have packets to spread out to everybody. We have done so much research. I can't even tell you, I've never cared about politics. I've never cared about any of us until Jim Chapman lied to me a couple of weeks ago. And from that day on, it was game on. So if you want backup information, we have media packets to give you. We've got copies of the radio interview to give you. We can send it to you in New York minutes to show you from. So honestly, that's really, okay. The emails are coming along. If you want this stuff sent, just email me a note and I'll get it out.
Can we get a piece of paper before you leave? And any Green Charter Township person, maybe at the top, Joe, where are you? Put the start of the recall of Jim Chapman. Let's start with him and sign it and at least get it on paper today. It's a suggestion we're having.
Well, because he said he'd go away if the community didn't want him. We had 800 people at that rally. I mean, that was cool. We had 95-year-old women out there with broken legs. You know, over the size. Wasn't that slow?
Nobody's mentioning the
Thank you.
Everybody. Wait here. Go. Ready here, something.
I'm looking for resources for this chicken.
You guys, Orman's really quiet talker, so you guys gotta listen.
Shut it off.
Very common.
Just so you know, okay?
Right. I think
I'm not afraid to turn it on. But I don't know.
We got singing. How bad is This is Antifa. This is how Antifa works. That was a real thing for kids that got us all for it. And then it was like, the folks.
Hey! The door's open!
Somebody needed my recorder worse than I did, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I took it in there with me. No, they got placed over here. Somebody decided to help themselves. Whatever.
That's funny, as soon as it gets turned on.
Okay, everybody set? Okay, John, Mr. Buick, please. Thank you very much. All right, we are out of executive session and back in general session. Yes, sir.
Make the motion to go back into regular session.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion? Motion to go back into regular session. Takes a motion to go out, takes a motion to go back in. All right, is there a second to the motion?
Support.
All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, same? Motion carried back in regular session. Thank you. To the next item then on the agenda is the consideration of an updated public comment resolution. Is there a motion? On the public comment? On the public comment?
State that again, we're ready to make the...
Yeah, we're ready to make the motion on regards to the updating the public comments resolution.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we update the township meeting public comment resolution as presented.
Is there a second to the motion? Okay, is there discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Jernstedt.
Yes.
Peak.
Yes.
Clark, yes. Chapman.
Yes.
McFarland.
Yes.
Todd.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Second point, consideration of a township planning commission. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chapman, I'd like to make a motion to move to accept for the first reading the introduction of the proposed Township Planning Commission ordinance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Is there discussion? Motion to accept that motion. Roll call, please.
Jernstedt.
Yes.
Peak.
Yes.
Clark, yes. Chapman.
Yes.
McFarland.
Yes.
Todd.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Any other business?
We need to set the sewer rate, or have a sewer rate resolution for the $109 a quarter for sewer users, residents or...
Is that then a motion?
Yes, we need to set the resolution for sewer rates at $109 a quarter.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll support it.
Motion support. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Jernstedt.
Yes.
Peak.
Yes.
Clark, yes. Chapman.
Yes.
McFarland.
Yes.
Todd.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Is there any other business? Okay, for FYIs, I believe you have in your packet the end of the year budget adjustments, bills and so on. Okay, that's for FYI. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? That being it, this is the time then, folks, for public comment. As we have stated in the past, each person will have the right to speak. That will not go past by department or by board policy 3 minutes. Who'd like to go first? Yes, ma'am, you're up.
And first,
Well, Ms. Lake, I apologize for interrupting you. You're the first one. Name and address, please.
Ronnie Lane, and I don't believe I have to give my address.
I believe our policy requires the address, ma'am.
Where is it in policy?
No, it doesn't.
It It does not say that.
I'll tell you what, the next one does. I told you once, you want to interrupt me, the door's that way. You have a right and a responsibility. So I tell you what we'll do. For today, we'll bypass the address that is in the new policy, and so you go right ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Where are the materials for the meeting today? Are they not supposed to be posted by law, by the Open Meetings Act and materials relating to a meeting? It's supposed to be posted so that the public can see them and have discourse about them. So I would ask, where are these resolutions to give public notice of these resolutions? That's one. Two, this whole board should be ashamed that at your last meeting, you broke the Open Meetings Act by violating the people's right to address the board. It's stated in your own resolution posted online that everybody got 3 minutes to talk and give their comments. It's the law. And if you don't have a copy of the OMA handbook, I suggest you get one, because it is the law. Now, with that being said, I want to say that a group of us have canvassed, and things that are being put out there about this 90 to 95% approval rating for Green Township residents for this proposed factory, it's not there. I have right here, and we're not even done yet. You see, we're not going by somebody you run into at McDonald's or a phone call or something. We're knocking door to door, and we're not going to stop knocking door to door, because this community needs to have their voices heard. And I'm not going to stop until every single person in this community's voice is heard. So you're all on notice as far as I'm concerned.
We'd like to go next. I think it'll work pretty good if we just go right across the front here. Okay, go on back. Yes, sir. Gentlemen,
Mr.
stand up. Then the lady. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Larry Finkbeiner. We've spoken on the phone. Actually, we've spoke here a few times too, on various different things. My address is 22705 22 Mile Road. My farm is up here, just up the road. Mr. Todd, pleasure to see you, neighbor. Mr. Chapman, I don't hate either one of you. I've got no particular direct gripe with either one of you. But I do disagree with this decision. And I disagree with it very strongly. And I understand that you've done what you can. And I understand you've done essentially what you've been elected for, which is to make decisions for the township. But I think you underestimate the number of people that actually do not agree with this. There is an issue of a realistic concern with contamination of any business that comes in to any area. This particular business is rather large and holds a rather large possibility for contamination. There's also an issue with the ownership of this business and the fact that its ties are not viewed as positive in this community. This is a rural conservative community. We have no desire for a Chinese affiliated company in this township. We have no desire for what this project represents. We all need jobs. We all have the desire to make a living for our families and our children. But it's our responsibility to make sure that those jobs are appropriate for our communities. This is not a conversation that is not complete with information, is not suitable for evaluation. If you want the residents of this township and you want this community to evaluate, answer the questions, all of them. Don't hide behind proprietary technology. Don't hide behind we're in development and push forward. I've worked to put a few businesses in, some of them larger. I've worked on teams for renewable energy. I've also done waste cleanup. This is not what our township wants. We don't need nor desire to go at each other's throats. But this is not acceptable.
Thank you, sir. Paula, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
My name's Paula DePay. I live at 18667 220th Avenue, between 18 and 19 Mile Road. My concern is that's where I live. I do not want that company coming in. And I am ashamed of this board. Every one of you. You are supposed to be representing all of us, and you're not. I don't know who you're representing, and that's a shame. A total shame. I worked at this township. And I'm upset about what's going on in our community. We do not want this in our community, and you're not listening at all. I mean, we had the marijuana that was coming into our community. We got to vote on that if we wanted those distilleries in our community. And we were able to vote on that, and we chose not to have that in our community. Why are we not able to vote on this? How come it's your decision to put something in our community that we do not want? And you're not listening, and that's the problem. What gives you authority to do that, Jim? Or you, Janet, or any of us? I mean, I consider you people community members. We are taxpayers doing our bit to keep our community safe and to live where we want to live. And we shouldn't have to have this in our community. It's a shame, a total shame. And I'm going to be affected. And I don't want to be affected. I own 18 acres, and I like it that way.
Down here, and back across the back. So you're right ahead now. You? Go ahead. Frank, go ahead.
My name is Lori Brown. I live at 21750 19 Mile Road. One, I want to make sure that this goes on the record, and I want actually, I would like to have all the public record comments put on the record, because there's a lot of shadiness going on, and people aren't hearing what's really being said. Being on that, I'd also like to have your meeting put on the meeting agenda for next week. On Tuesday, is it Tuesday at 6 o'clock? So that we could all know what you guys talked so privately about, that you felt that you didn't have to give public notice to, that you didn't even give us 24 hours to rally, to come here because it concerns us. To me, that's horrible, absolutely horrible. Another thing I'm mad about is, Thalen said repeatedly, if I'm not wanted, we will leave. Well, we're saying you're not wanted. We're very clearly stating that. We had a protest. Hundreds of people showed up for the protest. We don't want it in our community. I don't know why any of you are not listening to us. We don't want it. It's a toxic company. There are lies. Nobody tells the truth about anything. I'm angry. I have property that will be affected. Jim Chapman, you told people on a closed meeting that I lived in an industrial zone, and shame on me for being a realtor, which is a slanderous statement, stating that I should have known that I was building in an industrial zone. I completely posted it everywhere. I am not living in an industrial zone. I live in an agricultural zone. The people across the street from me are agricultural, multifamily, some commercial, and not industrial. Industrial is not till way down the road, so shame on you for lying to the people. You got me angry.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'd like to say something. First of all, I'd like to say something.
Your name, sir?
Rod Magnuson. I want to say something to Mr. Durnstead. He should recuse himself because he owns acreage that's being bought up. He should recuse himself from voting. That's wrong, for him to sit there on the board.
Is there anybody who would like to leave? Sorry, Ms. Banks, go ahead.
He should recuse himself. And I'm upset that the whole board has been lying from day one. I understand that somebody asked you what kind of chemicals were being brought in, and you said it's none of our business. Well, that certainly is our business. And the 400 people, we had more than 400 people at our protest Wednesday, where it was completely ignored. And Thielen even lied when he said, we are paid protesters. Well, if we are, where's our money? He lied about that. And like Lori said, he said numerous times, if you don't want us, we will leave. I don't understand. To me, I think you guys are being bought up. Something's going on, and you guys are getting something under the table. And it makes me sick that you get up and pledge allegiance to America, and then you turn to China.
Yes.
Right.
And you pledge allegiance. You guys are nothing but communists, and you've got nothing but you're corrupt. And you're going out to, you're bending the Chinese. You know darn well that China is heavily involved. Every company in China, if you look at every company in China, I don't care if it's a small mom and pop shop, they are run by the CCP. And they admit that, Goshen admit, the father and son, they belong to the CCP. And then Article 9, if you haven't read, I don't know if you read it, they said they will adhere to the CCP. They belong to the CCP. So don't sit there and say they're not. You know darn well that they are. You guys are lying through your teeth, and you know it. You guys are corrupt. Every one of you are corrupt. You know it, because you're getting money. The people here have spoken. 95% of the people in Green Township don't want it. We have proved it over and over again. We've been all over the place, 95%. And if you say there's 95% approval rate, let's see your emails. Prove it. You guys are nothing. You're corrupt and you're a liar.
Your name, please?
My name is Brandy Sweet, and I'm a resident of Green Charter Township. I'm not going to state my whole entire address here for everybody in the world to see. But I would like to start off saying that I would like this recorded on the minutes too, and pertaining to what you are willing to tell us about the chemicals and the materials that are here. And on the last meeting, he brought up graphite and made it seem like a number 2 pencil. That was totally wrong. And this should not be compared to something like that. The graphite that is going to be here is very dangerous, is nothing compared to a pencil. Let's get real. Let's break down these chemicals, these materials, and not try to say, oh, we don't have the completed battery, so it's not toxic and it's not hazardous. What we are making here, the component that is being made here, is what is toxic, hazardous, and combustible. Let's break that down to all of our community members, ran on 100% regulations. We are adding pollution to our children, to our environment. Nobody knows 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, what's going to happen to our river, to our Great Lakes, to our children from this. And you are lying, putting it underneath the rug, trying to downplay these raw materials and these chemicals. These are what is of danger to us. Let it be known, and put the fact sheet out there on what they do when you breathe them in. What they do, and what do you have to do? Even though Holland isn't much like what this will be, the battery plant that they have there, even though you guys said that you have toured it and it looks clean and whatever else, what type of clothing do they have to wear? Can their clothing melt to their body if they have certain type of clothing they're on? Is there all these hazardous things where you say you want our children to be kept here to work for? Who in their right mind would want to even put their children or their family member in that environment to work for that low income type of job? And everybody's saying that we need jobs around here. We maybe need some better options, but also look at the jobs that are here. They are not being filled. Ice Mountain cannot keep a person. The highest paying job here. They can't keep them. Why? Because they're not here. He even said this is not your regular nut and bolt factory. They want fluent speaking people. They want this, they want that. That is not our people. This is not guaranteed economic development. This is potential, but it is guaranteed pollution. And it's also guaranteed potential hazardous risks. So let's be known and let's put all that out there and make it known what this battery component plant is really making, what these components are.
So would you like to summarize that? Okay, thank you.
My name is Patty Downey. I'm from Big Rapids Township, and I'll be very brief. I was thinking that the state of Michigan had laws against eavesdropping, so that'll give me a project for this afternoon. Thank you.
Next, Mr. Fox?
Yeah, my name is Joseph Fox, and I live at 3928 South Sherman Avenue, Fremont, Michigan. And I'm a state rep for the 101st District. And I relay my apologies from Mr. Coons, your state rep, who wishes he could be here. I've been in regular contact with him this morning. I also, over the last 3 weeks, have been in regular contact with John Molinar, who's on a watchdog committee about China. And he's very concerned about this and has put that in print in the Detroit News. And I would encourage you to look up that March 31 article if you need to know more about that. I've been at 5 meetings now, counting this one, about this issue. And I've seen again and again overwhelming sentiment against Goshen. But I want to focus on one meeting that happened here, right about in this spot, on Wednesday, April 5 at 9 a.m. It was myself and 2 other state reps and Mr. Chapman. Mr. Chapman stressed multiple times that he's playing on a game board given to him by Lansing. It's not his fault. It was handed to him. Now he's got to do something with it, okay? And I really like this analogy, and I want to extrapolate. The game board, though, is not a game of checkers. That's too simple of a game. It's probably a lot more like chess, with kings and queens and bishops and pawns. Mr. Chapman, Green Township Board, people of Green Township, people living downriver like myself in Nuevo County, people throughout West Michigan. We're the pawns. We're the pawns. And if you've ever played chess, you know that pawns are expendable. They're gotten rid of. They're moved aside. And I want to take it one step further. We're not playing on just a flat chessboard. We're playing in the 3D chess game, if not 20D chess game. And the other players are not simply the state, which is right now controlled by the Democrats, the leftist mentality. It's the Green New Deal mentality that's pushing this. It's globalist mentality that's pushing this. And how dare we let ourselves become pawns in this worldwide game? Again, pawns are expendable. I'd like to see us play a new game called Refuse to Play and ask the voters what they really want.
Yes.
Finally, one more thing.
Mr. Fox, if you could summarize, please.
Yep. One more thing. Mr. Chapman walked into our meeting the other day with a sidearm on his side to meet with us 3 state representatives. I know it wasn't intended for us, and I appreciate his desire to do constitutional carry. I stand with it, and I would fight for it. But you may need to keep that sidearm at your side in the future if the globalists take over and if tyranny starts to reign in our world. And finally, this is Good Friday. And we dare not forget that Christ came and died for all of us and to fight against evil. And I pray that His kingdom will come and His will be done here in Green Township as it is in heaven.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. Who would like to be next? Go ahead.
My name is Joni Luce, and I live in Barton Township, which is, of course, just to the west here. And as you yourself said, Jim, this doesn't stop at a township line. We're all affected. You meant positively, but that works in the negative as well. Everyone involved with this, Chuck Thielen, you, I guess you're the most vocal, downplay, we are not China. You don't even downplay it yet. Absolutely say it is not Chinese. Chuck Thielen says there is no CCP. But every time he talks about how wonderful Goshen is, he is referring to the assets that Goshen High Tech has. Goshen, North America, has research and development and salespeople. They don't have a factory. So are we putting our lives at risk with a 5 to 6 year old startup company that has had apparently financial issues because they had to be bailed out by a Chinese bank? How are they not Chinese? They're either that or they're what Chuck says they are, which is Goshen High Tech, which is affiliated with the CCP. There is no such thing as a free Chinese company. It doesn't matter if they agree with the CCP or not. They're not free. Every Chinese citizen that goes on vacation is subject to debriefing for whatever they can glean from them. This is Chinese. This is CCP. And we are America. And our values do not mix.
Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you, Jim. And I appreciate Mr. Fox being here from the 101st Nueva County. My name is Kyle Luce. I'm the Barton Township Supervisor and have been since 2008. I've been elected there, and our Township Board decided to send out a survey to all of our citizens, and we have 704 citizens in Barton Township. We sent out 420 some odd surveys to the households and all the taxpayers that live here and don't live here, people that live in wherever and own property here. We've got a resounding return on those, which I didn't believe we'd actually get that many. We didn't get as many surveys back from our land use study that we did. We just did a master plan review that we sent your board a copy of, and the state law, whatever it is, MCL 125/38/39 states that any municipality that changes its master plan, land use plan, zoning ordinance must send notice to all surrounding municipalities and notify them that they're planning on an update, and that have to give them 63 days to review said update before the board can even act on it. That's a master plan. That's just the future land use of our township. That's just an idea of what's going to happen in the future. This is not an idea of what's going to happen in the future. This is an idea that you folks have come up with, or our governor has come up with in the last, well, I don't know, 3-4 years, however long you've been dealing with it. These folks that live here, us, Barton Township residents, are appalled. We're at like 85% disapproval rating. There are a handful of folks that think that it's a good thing. Their comments were, it's not CCP, or they didn't have any information about the thing. Barton Township residents at 85% right now, I'm here to talk for them at this point, are 85% against this factory going forward. As a township supervisor that sits on a board just like you folks are doing, serving the people of our jurisdiction, it makes my head spin that you folks are not listening to these people. Chuck Phelan, I've heard his lies repeatedly. I'm not this, I'm not that. John Molinar's calling him out. Pete Hoekstra called him out last night, said it was, what do you call that? Yeah, laughable. But really, we have the federal government now investigating all of you, the state level, the governor, the right place, Randy Phelan, who thinks that this is greater Grand Rapids. This is greater Big Rapids.
We'll keep going.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. I will summarize and just say, Barton Township owns property. We live right next door to you. We own property north to south, the entire length of it. Not one word has came to Barton Township formally or informally about this project, asking an opinion or anything. Nothing. We've took it upon ourselves to survey our people, and we are strongly against this factory going forward. And I hope you will reconsider. Quite honestly, you folks you're a sham. Roger, I'm ashamed of you. Gentlemen, you guys are my friends. I've worked with you guys for 35 years, and I just can't
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Big Rapids Township. That little thing there, were you taping the meeting while you guys were in the secret meeting? Or the, what is it called?
Executive session, no, that's not taped.
Pardon?
Executive session isn't taped, no.
No, when you taped in the little machine there, this group while you were in there.
Yes.
Grant, you know that, please?
No, I turned it off
When?
when I left here, but we're not here to discuss it, but no. The answer, Joe, out of respect, because of people's concern, no. This thing you saw perfectly well never left this room, but you also, or whoever decided to pick it up and look it all over, knows that I turned this thing off.
Very good. Thank you. There was some concern.
Anything else, Joe? Okay. All right, who's next? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my name is John Holsworth, Green Township. I just found this out online and stuff. And I guess the best analogy I could say when I look at this, I've talked to people, most of the people I know are against this, okay? Now, a previous board before you guys had an issue about a liquor permit to change over for what we had was the Brown Bungalow, okay? Now, they thought they had this fancy French restaurant was going to come in here. Wow, they were great for it. So anyways, as I'm told in the local community, they found out what it really was. It was deja vu. And that's not a fancy French restaurant. When they found this out, they properly shut it down. Well, we see what we're getting up against here. We're with a Chinese company, environmental concerns, all sorts of stuff. Why don't you learn from the wisdom of your previous boards? Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other hands? All right, seeing no, you've had your turn, Joe. You had your turn, you went back. Ma'am, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Peggy Fleming. I also live in Richmond Township, maybe 5 miles up this way. As the Barton Township Supervisor also said, we're nearby, and it was stated that we didn't matter because we're not in green, but we absolutely matter. We are Michigan taxpayers. This is Michigan money. I don't care if it comes from the UP or not. It matters. We all have a say if it's our dollars in it. We all have a say if we're in a radius of this affection. And if it was great, if it was good, we'd all benefit. But if it's bad and we're all saying we don't want it. Also, I want to make it clear that, as was stated by Mr. Thelen, that not to listen to the professional picketers, which was an awesome experience, was my first protest. Most of us had never, ever done anything like this before, and that should send you, Mr. Chapman, I don't know you, but I've heard really good things about you. The people have known you, really respect you, and so I took that into consideration. It feels out of character what's happening right now, and when I hear some of the statements that are said, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit because you sounded like a really nice guy, and now we don't know who you are. And what is going on, that you're not listening to us and that you are demonizing the folks. Your folks. That doesn't make sense at a human level. And being told that we're professional protesters, that's a real slam. Antifa tactics? We're not Antifa. I mean, that was, to me, as just a citizen, Richmond Township, that felt really bad. That's all I can say.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Robin LaMadeline, and I'm a Green Charter Township, and Roger Carroll is my neighbor, that I'm just appalled at, how this was just an unanimous, everybody was all okay with it. But my question is, like Fallon said, that there is going to be secret chemicals used and want to hit in last night's, the panel discussion. So what are those secret chemicals, and why would there be secret chemicals that they use? So, they shouldn't have any, it all should be laid out, what they're going to have there. There should be no secret
anything. But I guess we've all, I mean, you can see that there's a lot of secrets going on. So I guess that's no surprise, but, you know, yeah, we'd like to know what they are.
Thank you. Any other hands? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Michelle Coffey, and I'd just like to, as many people that are here and against this, ask you guys, maybe you could reconsider how to deal with your position. You may just turn around and be dubbed heroes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, sir, go ahead.
Hastily, Richmond Township. Just in response to the secret chemicals, there are no secret chemicals. Everything must be presented at the factory material safety data sheets. So that is hogwash. It's the amount that they mix together, but they can provide you with what chemicals are used in them. So don't believe that for a second, that it's secret chemicals. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Gary Benedict, Green Township. I probably shouldn't be real concerned about this. I'm not for myself. I'm more concerned for the community. Would this board be opposed to a meeting with Big Rapids Township, City of Big Rapids? I think there hasn't been enough looked into. I was noticing at the last meeting that Big Rapids has 2 wells, and one of them puts out 715,000 gallons a day, and that will be enough for the new factory. Well, that's great, but what happens if the other well goes out? Are they going to shut down the factory, or are they going to shut down Big Rapids? And they're going to recycle all the water. Well, they're going to recycle all the water, but how are they going to continue to use 715,000 gallons of water a day? And it's, I don't know, going to evaporate? It's not going to go into the river? There's a lot of questions, and there's got to be a lot of community cooperation from Big Rapids Township, City of Big Rapids, County of Mecosta, and I mean, this has all been kept in one little capsule here, and like I say, I'm not going to be here long, so I haven't got to worry about too much. My kids are in other parts of the country, so I'm not worried about them. But I am worried about these people and their kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Ashley Flex. I'm from Osceola County. I'm here because I want to remind you that people do matter. And I have friends here, and it doesn't matter to me so much the plant. It's not important to me physically or my family. But people matter, and we will have Osceola here in a heartbeat if you try and say people don't matter, and beyond. And also, I want to remind you that when you guys go home at night and lay your pillow down, this is a Bible thumper nation, whatever you want to call it. We were built on grace and on biblical principles, and today is Good Friday. So for you guys to have a meeting on Good Friday, for starters, is just beyond me. But I want you to know that before you guys came out here, we were led by prayer, and God is in control of the situation. And I hope at night when you guys lay down that you remember your biblical principles, and you remember the people in this room, and you remember what matters most, because here people matter and God matters. And I hope that everyone here stays strong, and I'll be here to support you, and I will bring my friends to support you, and we are a community. So I just wanted to remind you of that.
Thank you.
I'm from the Allers Group on 21 Mile, so I speak for my entire family, although I have lived in Holland, Michigan for over 30 years. And so when the community has said they have visited the plants, and there are 2 in Holland, Michigan. One makes batteries like this, little batteries, phone batteries, camera batteries. That is Korean. That has 1,744 employees today. They promised to have 2,000 employees back in 2012. They're still not at 2,000 employees. they also got the free 30-year tax-free. They're not the threat. But the other one is owned by Johnson Controls out of Plymouth. They wear white hazmat zip suits. I worked there as an HR person for only 6 months. I would never let my children work there, ever. They have to have special safety glasses or they will melt to their face. They cannot wear blue jeans that are not correct under the hazmat suit. I mean, you go into this place and you say, oh, it's so beautiful and clean. Yeah, they have to have clean rooms bigger than this facility here. It doesn't mean they're not safe. It's very unsafe. The chemicals are unsafe. And I'm here to support this community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, seeing no other hands, I'll set the motion to adjourn. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
You guys don't want to comment?
No more than you, Joe, and any of your